Happy birthday, Ryan.
Good morning, everybody. How is
Good
everybody?
morning.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Hey, happy birthday, Ryan.
Happy birthday.
Good morning. Happy
Hey.
birthday.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday,
guys.
Ryan.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. So we're going to, I'm having some technical difficulties. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. It's interesting that you guys are wishing me happy birthday, and I appreciate that. Today is my birthday. And as you get, some of you guys will realize this as we get older in life, and I don't remember doing it so much when I was younger, but nowadays you kind of, when your birthday comes, you kind of reassess, similar to like New Year's or whatever, but you reassess where you are and what you've done in the last year and where you're headed. So it's a time kind of to reflect and kind of, where am I? Where do I want to be? I don't know if you guys do that, but I do every year for my birthday. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about how that relates to you guys. And if you're happy with the business that you're doing right now, and if you're happy with the way you're doing business right now, and if not, how are we going to get better? If you guys, as I said in the email welcoming you guys or inviting you guys to this meeting, if you're doing the business you already want to do, then we can talk about something else after. You can, talk about the weather, whatever afterward. But right now, we want to talk about what you're doing to get where you want to be. For those of you who are not where you want to be, you might be doing great, but maybe you could do a little bit better. And so we're going to talk about some of that stuff. And I want input from you guys because I want to hear what's working for you guys and what isn't working for you guys. I want to hear what you wish you could do differently, what little things that you're doing that could help maybe some of our other agents, and other things that might be helpful. So let's talk about some of this stuff. What I want to talk about is the way that the business is now, and I'm not going to relate it to the way the business used to be because it's changed so much, but the way the business is now, you have to either crush the market with lead buying, or you piece together supplemental pieces that make up your business for the year. The little things that you wonder, should I be doing this? Would it get me an extra couple of deals a year? And we all know, and you guys have heard me talk about this before. This is just like any other business. You run a business, just like any other business. You have to put in the work, and you have to sometimes put in the money, right? It takes a little bit of money to get started. Richard is just starting out in the business. Richard has a lot of business sense from previous experience in the world and business world, not real estate related so much, but he's having to expend some money to get his team up and going, right? And that's what you have to do because he wants to run a business. Otherwise, and it's perfectly fine that you guys are self-employed, which is awesome. That's why you got in the business, so you could be your own boss and make tons of money. Nobody can tell you how much or how little money you can make. It's all up to you. You guys love that. That's why you got in the business. But for some people, they want to be business owners where they kind of run a team and have that. And I'm not encouraging or discouraging that. It depends on what you want to do. Those are your goals. But what are you going to do to survive in the business? And if you're not surviving, what are you going to do to survive? If you are surviving, what are you going to do to get to the next level? And if you're at the next level, what are you going to do to kill it in the business? So it's kind of, but they all come around the same thing. How am I going to piece together some more deals? If you can afford to go out and buy all the leads you want, that's fantastic. We can talk about how to do that, and we are going to talk about how to do that. But I don't care if you have just a little bit of money to throw towards your business. How are you going to do that to make it pay off? Because it's all about the return on your marketing dollars, right? So how are you going to do that? I see Dalton in the meeting. Dalton pieces together several things for his business, and he's very successful at it. You've got to take a couple of different approaches. Dalton can tell you this. I see he's driving down the road, so he probably doesn't want to talk too much. But Dalton is very conscious of his marketing dollars and what return they're bringing him, because we've discussed that before. A lot of you guys are. I know Daryl is as well. Pretty conscious about the dollars that they spend and what the return on their marketing dollars are. And I imagine that all of you would be, or you'd like to think you would be, unless you're doing so well, you can just throw $1 million at it and just, reap the rewards. And there are rewards. There are rewards for just, throwing 5 or 10 grand a month at marketing. There are rewards for that if you can afford to do that, right? But if you have to spend 250 or 500 or whatever it is, I'm telling you guys, there's not a business you can run. I don't care if you're making masks out of your house and selling them on Etsy. There's not a business you can run that you don't have to put some money in, right? You've got to buy materials. You got to put the work in and the money in, no matter what you're doing. So that was a very 2020, 2021 reference there. But whatever business it is that you're running, you've got to put some money in. And I don't care. And that's what we talk about with our business, our agent success program, is taking the money that we don't take. So I'm not very, guys, I get, I get hard on myself at my birthday to see where I am in life and all this stuff. And I try to be an honest judge of myself. And I get a little bit hard on you guys as well when it comes to this. There are no excuses for not putting some money into your business when you're at 100% company, right? There's a couple of reasons you guys come here. We have a very, very high success rate. We have a lot of, you look around this page right now, if you look around your screen, you see a lot of successful realtors in here. And there's two reasons for that. One is there are people who, and most of them aren't in this right now, who come from a KW or a Coldwell Banker. They've been their whole lives and they just got tired of paying their broker and they just want to cash in. And they're like, this is ridiculous. I'm paying my broker 50 grand a year, 100 grand a year, whatever it is, 30 grand, 27 grand, whatever it was. They're paying their broker every year. They were tired of it. Then you have people who are want to invest that money back in their business. They want to get 100% so they can invest, because frankly, if someone's taking 35% of my money, I'm only living on 65%. That makes it difficult, right? And if I have a referral to pay or something on top of that, I'm out here just working for exercise, or I'm starving, right? I'm just trying to get anything. So what I want you guys to do is to be able to be one of these people. And I see several of you around here right now, very successful ones who will be given awards to shortly, who are putting that money back into their business and reaping the rewards of that. So they're turning one deal into two more. So you have a deal where you make, and you guys have all heard me talk about this, where you make, you sell a $300,000 house and it's $9,000. And we're not taking $3 grand of it. If you will take that 2,500, $3 grand that we're not taking and put it back into your business, how many deals do you think we can get out of that? Right? Dalton, I know you're driving. Show me with your fingers how many deals you can get out of $2,500 to $3,000. In front of the camera.
At least probably 3, maybe 5.
Okay. So Dalton needs to be given this because he's more optimistic than I am, but he's doing awesome. So that shows you what I'm talking about with Dalton. He's using his marketing dollars wisely and he's tracking what he's doing, but he thinks he's going to get a deal for every 5 to 750 he spends on leads. He should get one deal. That's what he's telling me right now with that, what he just said. So if you could do that, if any of you could write me a check right now for 750 and I promised you a deal, would you do it? Would you give me some nods or shakes or whatever, right? I'm not selling, you can be honest with me, I'm not selling you anything. So it sounds like I'm selling you something, but I'm not. So you spend it with somebody else. So that's, yeah, were you trying to say something?
Yeah. Hey, Ryan. I believe you could get 3 deals out of it, but the thing that needs to be noted that people, the most frustrating thing I get, and I'm sure other agents in here who buy leads get, is people want the leads to close right now. And you have to get rid of that mentality because that $3,000 I'd spend in a 30-day span will give me 3 to 5 leads that will close, but they're not going to close in the next 15 to 30 days. And that's just the reality of buying leads.
Sure. And this is something that we deal with in sales all the time. Unless you're selling timeshare or something, you have got to plant the seed today to reap the reward down the road. But 6 months from now, aren't you glad you planted all those seeds? 3 months from now, aren't you glad you planted all those seeds? How many of you guys have done that and say, you know what, I'm really glad I wasted my time with that person I was worried I was wasting my time with because they finally bought a house. They're selling their house and buying a house finally, Or you worked with them and then it fell apart because of credit or whatever, and then they come back around because you treated them so nicely the first time. So yeah, you plant the seeds today for business, and it's the same with anything. When FRI markets their property management, they don't expect people to walk in the door the next day. You got to brand, you got to get your name out there, and you've got to get your services out there. And then people do it, and then they give word of mouth, and it just grows and grows and grows like you guys do. The people I was talking about who have been in the business for 25 years and they came here to cash in, most of them are on referrals only now, or they buy just a few leads, or they partake in just a few activities. They'll join the garden club and then this and then that for the couple of deals a year they'll get out of that stuff. So that's what I want to talk about as well. I'm not just pitching you on buying leads today. That is part of what you're going to do. But you also need to hit up all the people that your kids play soccer with, and that you hit up the PTA, and you participate in the Chamber of Commerce and all the networking events, and you do all that stuff, and they get 2 and 3 deals a year from those things, and those add up. Are you guys hearing me? Because everybody looks frozen.
We hear you.
Okay.
Hear you.
Everybody looks frozen on my screen. I've got spotty. Okay. So have you guys, anybody have any experience with that? Anybody have any experience with something that they've done that they have experienced and gained a few clients from? I can't, everybody's frozen on me.
Ryan?
Yes, Victoria.
Oh, I did a week of like just calling people on my phone, and I found a property and I sent it over to one of my parents' friends, and they weren't interested. They said they'll call me whenever they're interested, but it sounds like they really didn't want me to talk to them. And then they ended up calling again and wanting to look for a home. So, but that took like weeks. But that first call was kind of rough because you kind of feel like you're a bother to the people, but then they end up remembering that you're a realtor. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
How many hours did you take calling?
I started, it was like an hour of prospecting a day. So that's probably like about 2 or 3 people that I really talked to. And the rest are kind of like voicemails and text messages. Yeah.
And so you did that for a week. So you spent 5-6 hours on it.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're going to buy a house. What price range are they going to buy in?
It was 300. It's under 300. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to make 7, 8, 9,000, something like that, probably. Guys, do the activities. If you don't make the phone calls, nobody's going to call you. Nobody's going to knock on your door. If you're at home watching Judge Judy today, nobody's going to knock on your door and ask you to put down the Cheetos and come sell them a house. You've got to get out there and do stuff. Activity breeds success. In this business and any kind of sales, activity breeds success. Anybody else, anybody taking part in some kind of club for something or whatever, anything they're doing where they're getting supplemental deals? Anybody doing anything like that?
Yeah, I'm in my yoga class. I talk to people, and I have an investor lead from that. Going to yoga.
I love Angie. I love Angie. Angie is not shy. Angie, everybody in her yoga class, I guarantee you know she's a realtor.
Yeah. So even when we're
and
walking
some
out to
of
the
them
car,
have-
and I make them look at my magnet, and if I need another N. Oh yeah, that's my car with my big face on it.
Yep. Yeah. And that's a thing too. And I always use this example because it's tacky to wear your name tag into church. Get a magnet on your car where everybody outside knows you're God's realtor. Okay. That God wants you to use them. God wants them to use you for your real estate.
For sure.
Get a magnet on your car. Seriously. For times that you guys don't want to feel too pushy.
It's a good lead in for a conversation starter. You don't have to say it. They can say it first. Makes it easier. I've had some good luck lately with a Facebook ad too for my vacant land listings in Thonotassa. I put a ad out there, Facebook ad, and I've gotten 2 solid leads, not for my listing, but for other things. So got their email addresses, and I'm sending them homes now. So just everything. You just got to do a variety of things, right?
Yep, absolutely. Just piecemeal it together. Piecemeal. The thing about the yoga thing that Angie's talking about is it really costs her nothing. I mean, yoga costs, you know, $30 a month, whatever it costs, but it doesn't, she was going to do it anyway, is what I'm getting at. So she was going to do something anyway. You might as well promote yourself. Don't be a secret agent. Nobody's going to work with a secret agent. They don't know you. They've got a sister-in-law or a friend of a friend who's a realtor anyway. You guys have got to get yourselves out there. So who else is doing something, an activity or anything for their kids or for themselves that is getting a few extra deals on the side?
Hey, Ryan.
I participate in a tennis club, and it has brought me like 5 transactions from tennis partners.
Mm-hmm.
A great experience.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And each one of those little, each one of these that just contributes and contributes and contributes. Jika asked where to get a magnet. We have a partnership with House of Magnets. I say a partnership in that they have all of our stuff. They do our magnets for our name tags. Go to the same place for that, Jika. And if you need that, it's on your, well, you joined a long time ago. I don't know if it was on your welcome email then, but it is now. So I can send you a welcome email that has all that on there. So I'll send that to you. But it's houseofmagnets.com, I believe.
Ryan, this is not joining a club, but my wife and I walk on the beach every morning early, and we stop the same place to get a latte or a cup of coffee. And we've made friends with the guy that rents the umbrellas and the chairs out there. He's referred 3 people to me just by sitting
Fantastic.
talking to them every day and leaving them.
Let me give you a little idea that you've probably already thought of because you are a marketing guy. Get t-shirts that say the Magnolo team or whatever you've got going. Get t-shirts that say that. And I mean, don't necessarily both of you wear them every day, but wear them down the beach some days.
Good idea.
Guys, just get your branding out there. People will talk to you. Wear your name tags. People will talk to you. People talk to me with my FRI shirt on. People will talk to you.
With the beach umbrella guy, do you give him like gift cards when he refers you people, or how do you respond to his referrals that he gives you?
Actually, we've just developed our friendship, and I really haven't had to give him anything, but I'm going to. I'm gonna go down there and give him a gift card.
Yep.
We'll go buy
Okay,
clothes
cool.
or whatever.
I do the same thing with the maintenance people in the condos downtown, and it's provided me so many referrals I can't hardly keep track of. Perfect way. Thanks for sharing.
Well, when I had a car dealership, I used to tell my salespeople, every time you stop and get gas, leave your business card. Pretty soon, and give them a little bit, give them like $50 for a referral, and you'd be surprised how many car dealers you sell.
Yep.
For sure.
Hey, so let's talk about that as well. And Daryl is kind of transitioning more into almost a more clear professional type relationship, which is what I'll talk to you guys about. I have some very successful agents who work with credit unions and other people and referral networks and stuff like that from lenders and credit unions and stuff like that. There's like lists and stuff that you can get on. And we've talked about that before. We've also talked about talking with probate attorneys and divorce attorneys and stuff like that. Get relationships. You make relationships with these people. And yes, they will supplement you and you'll get a deal a month or a deal every 2 months out of some of these people. But that's a lot, right? When you add it to what you've already got going on and you piece these things together. There is never, what I hear so much from people, and I don't want to say the words out loud, but I know there's a lot of frustration and there's a lot of paralysis if you're not doing well. And there's just kind of a helplessness of any kind of sales. Sales is the best job in the world if you're good at it. It's the worst job in the world if you're bad at it. Okay. So if you're struggling, it's tough and people get paralyzed. Get out there and do something. Like Victoria said with the phone calls, she didn't have to make phone calls. She would probably rather sat around and done something else, called her friends and talked about something else. But she made these phone calls. Phone calls are hard to make, aren't they? Can I get some nods on that? Phone calls hard to make?
Yes.
Nobody's moving on my screen, but that's fine. I'm sure you guys are. But they're hard to make. It's hard to do. But she did it. And that's the kinds of things that you have to do to get ahead. And it's not the same for everybody, but everybody should be making phone calls. I'm telling you guys, they're not gonna, even the voicemails and stuff that she left are going to plant seeds with people, right?
Not to
That's
toot
how
my
you
own
build a business.
not to toot my own horn, but this month, is it this month? Yes, this month, I'm closing out a deal for 575,000 cash from a referral I just got from that maintenance guy I was talking about that's referred me 3 deals in the past, 2 years. I learned that he liked Carnival Cruise Lines, which there hasn't been any cruises lately. But every time I close on a deal, I give him a gift card. Now it's not for Carnival, it's for somebody else. And he remembers that. And actually, he calls me up. He called me up last week and he said, Daryl, number 14, I think, is going to be selling pretty soon. And I, of course, gave him your name. And that's another $400,000 condo. So it's like a no-brainer. If you don't have condos where you're at, go out to the townhouse developments and introduce yourself to the property managers. Learn what they like, learn what kind of restaurants they like delivered from if they're not going out to them. Give them a $25 gift card. I mean, it's 25 bucks, who cares? But they're going to remember you, and you just keep on doing that, and you find another complex and you keep on doing that. It's super easy, actually. It's fun, actually.
That is fantastic advice, Daryl. I absolutely love it. You'd be surprised, guys, what donuts will do. Take a box of donuts out to these places when you go see people. It's or just just a few donuts, but it's amazing what people will do when they have just a small sense of obligation to you and a small sense of appreciation for you. It's really good. That's great sales 101 there, Daryl. I love it. And yeah, we toot your horn all the time. So you can toot your own too. So I love that. Let's talk about, we talked about forming relationships. I know you guys lots of you have sold to people who you know from the gym or from somewhere, places you're going. Guys, get yourselves marketed, get yourselves branded, get yourselves a t-shirt, something that says what you do for when it's inappropriate to wear a name tag like a gym or something else. I know gyms aren't really going too strong right now, but you get the idea. Even going to Publix or something like that, you should have your name tag on. Get out there and get your name out there. So let's talk about actually buying stuff, buying leads. What you're going to do, how you're going to spend it is going to depend on you, your personal taste. Dalton is doing things that are a little more high tech than something I would do because he's younger than I am and understands that stuff a little bit more. But a lot of you are just straight up buying leads. A lot of you are mixing and matching what you're doing because you don't want to throw all your eggs in one basket. Somebody talk about what's working for you. Are you piecing stuff together? Or are you buying in a big deal? What are you doing?
My pay-per-click has been absolutely on fire this month. So I don't know if anybody uses Google pay-per-click, but it's been absolutely ridiculous for me this month. I got a lead that came in, and within 48 hours had them under contract for 400,000 on new construction. I've got 3 leads that came in just this past weekend that sold homes in other states that are going to be here within the next 30 to 60 days that are actively talking to me, looking at properties on the MLS, ready to buy, pre-approved, all that stuff. So that's what's working for me, Google pay-per-click.
Awesome. Thank you, Dalton.
Now that you mentioned that, Dalton, hey, I had a friend in Maryland this past weekend, Super Bowl weekend, that did ads down here. He sold 1.8 in townhouses in Maryland from doing Google ads pointed at Tampa.
That's crazy. Yeah, I had 17 leads on Sunday.
There you go. Good for
It
you.
was busy weekend. Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow. Fantastic. Put the Super Bowl to use.
Hey,
good job.
Dalton, how much are you spending on that pay-per-click?
$1,500 a month. I think. I mean, that's what my budget's set at. I haven't checked. I haven't gotten my report from the team I used to do it. But I did talk to him last week, and I think he said we're coming in under budget. So I think we're spending around $8 to $10 per click right now.
Okay.
Fantastic. Any of you guys using anything else? Anybody having success or failure with anything?
Hi, Ryan. I'm using Boat Lead. It's supposed to be ranked pretty good, like first and second lead in there, the Google I find. But they only give you junk. So I just want to prevent everybody using it. They're charging like about 600 to 700 a month. And they guarantee you give you 25 lead, but they only give you like pretty much junk lead more than anything. Just want to let anybody caution out there and don't use them.
Who is that, TC?
Boat Lead. Boat
Okay.
Lead. Yeah.
How do you spell that?
BOLTLEADS.
Okay. Yeah, Bolt Leads. Okay.
They're
And
pretty
you've
junky.
had a lack of success with them?
Yeah, and they give it to you, but it's like all junky. They like really junky. Like I feel like sometimes I feel like it's wasting my time, but it's actually I signed a contract with them already, so I just had to follow up with them. So
Okay.
no luck yet. That's a fail. Don't
All right, well,
wait.
hang in there. Hey, hang in there and keep working them and see what happens. I've had a lot of people do that, and I've had people tell me before, thank God I was under contract because I was going to give up on them, and then they started coming in. So you never know. Stick with them.
Okay.
But I mean, stick with them for as long as they've got that you're under the contract, and then see what you can do. Those of you who cannot afford any kind of leads program, and you don't have to do, Dalton's doing 1,500 on that, probably doing something else on some other stuff. You don't have to do 1,500. There's other stuff. We also have teams available for you guys if you want to. If you don't have the money to do your own leads, and you want someone to give you leads, or go into sharing them together, buying them together, or they buy them and you just pay them a split, whatever it is you want to do. Look into that as well. We have teams right now. Richard's starting a team down in the Fort Pierce, all the way down to the beach, all the way down to Broward, from Indian River down to Broward. He's starting a team there. We have a team in Kissimmee, St. Cloud that needs, they just let me know yesterday, they need a couple people. And we have different teams, different places that need people. So let me know if you're interested in that. Let me know, and I'll try to hook you up with somebody. And you guys can certainly work together and stuff as well. Any questions on what we've talked about today? And we'll cover some more stuff as we go along, but anybody have any questions on anything?
I do, Ryan. Hey, what leads are working? What lead generations? I mean, obviously, I don't know if Realtor.com and Zillow are still doing that. I just signed up this month with ZenTap. It's basically it's kind of like virtual business card, and they just get the branding out over all the social media platforms. It's not a lead generation though. So I didn't know if anybody's doing Realtor or if those are still old school, nobody does them anymore.
I'm still doing Realtor.com, and it's working out really good. I'm paying what, $390 a month right now.
Oh, okay. And are you buying the zip codes, Daryl? Are you doing downtown?
I am. Actually, I just changed because I'm moving actually to a new house, just like Ryan. Not a new one like him, but a new house for me. But I changed from College Park. I was doing College Park, which isn't expensive. It was like $455 a month, but I was getting probably 4 to 5 leads a month, which was good because the price range in College starts out at what, $350, $400.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just changed it to my new zip code, and I'm actually getting a lot, and I'm paying $390 a month. You got to work them. I don't work them all myself. I've got another agent that I refer to take my referrals and stuff from that zip code because it's totally not downtown. But But yeah, realtor.com is working really well for me.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. I know back in the day it did, and then it didn't. And, you know, then you got homes.com coming and hitting you up, and Zillow and all those others.
Yeah. I think I tried homes.com and it was worthless. It was garbage.
Right. Yeah, I would stay away from
That was my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Now everything's frozen. Okay. Fantastic. Anything else working for people or not working for people?
I just wanted to say hello, everybody. This is my name is Maria. I am a new sales associate. Just passed the state exam January 25th and joined you all. So happy to be here. I love my Friday group. I call you guys Fridays. Better than fried eggs. But I'm just brand spanking new. You know, I'm like that baby on the carpet just doing the airplaning. Okay, I'm not even crawling or running yet. I am working with another person in this group. We're trying to form a team. She has a little bit more experience than I do. So I guess one of my first questions would be, I have a Google Voice, but it's area code Melbourne, Palm Bay, where I used to live. So should I switch it to 941 and put that on the business cards and on the magnet for the car and all that? And I was just, that's one of my questions. Or you know, or I mean, because my regular number is a Montana number. Sorry, 5th generation Montana, hard to leave those roots behind. And does it really matter if it's, you know, does it matter to the clients if you're 941 or if I'm 406 area code? Doesn't matter. Or would you do it to keep them separate from your personal phone and you know that those calls coming in on that, you know, in the eSIM thing I'm learning, you know, what would you recommend has worked for you?
Maria, you've given up your personal life. So I would have one phone, I'd have everything come to it, and I would get a local number. People want to work with a local expert. So I would get a local number and I would put that on all of your marketing stuff. Any other thoughts on that?
I've always used a different area code. Just when I signed up for Google Voice, they didn't have any 407. So I ended up with 863, which I guess is like Lakeland area. And I've used that for the past few years. It's on my signage. It's on all my marketing. I think one time somebody, when I called them, said, "Oh, you're in Lakeland." And I was like, "No, I'm not. It's just my, you know, my number." I haven't had any issues with using a different area code. But you never know. I mean, I see what you're saying, you know, local expert, but especially right now when I am working from Orlando to Tampa now. So Lakeland actually fits.
So do you guys that have the experience, forget about, you know, separating your personal phone from a business phone then?
Oh no, I definitely separate mine. It just makes it kind of easier on your life when your phone rings to know what it's for. But yeah, I have the Google Voice number. And when it rings, I know it's a Google Voice number coming in. And then I have my personal line. That's one phone.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, Maria, what is your area code? 941?
No, I'm in Bradenton area, but we're gonna be
Right.
moving to Parish. We have a new home we're building over there. And you know, being in Florida for 6 years, my Google Voice is 321 when I lived over in Melbourne, Palm Bay area. But now I'm over on the Gulf side, which I adore. And so I'm thinking, okay, my Google Voice is 321 area code. I should probably, would it behoove me to have a separate business line that is a local number that I put on all my stuff instead of 406? I mean, okay, we're all from everywhere else. Everybody in Florida seems like they're from New York or Ohio anyway, that I've come across, you know, so, you know, in the scheme of things, it doesn't matter, but I agree with Ryan. If you're going to market yourself, people who are buying and selling, they want to know you're local and you know what you're talking about and you know the area. So I was thinking,
I don't think it would hurt as bad
to a 941.
I don't think it would hurt as bad to be 813-941-727 if you're all in that same, you know, local area codes. But I think when you call, it says, you know, Idaho or whatever, then I think people are they want to, a serious business wouldn't do that. right? And they want to work with an expert. This is all about making people feel like you're an expert in real estate. This is every home they buy, everything they do is a big decision to them. They want to feel like they're working with someone who A, knows the area well, and so has been there a while, and B, is a serious professional. And if you were going to open a local business, you wouldn't have your old phone number. You'd have a local phone number. You go ahead and splurge on that. You've got to look successful in this business, even if you're just starting. You got to make people feel comfortable working with you. So I would do that.
So anybody who's got experience with the phone calls and what, like Ryan was saying, what it shows up, because, you know, if I call you, it says Helena, Montana. Obviously, I'm not in the capital of Helena, Montana. I'm here. But when you use an eSIM, when you use Google Voice, does it still say Helena, Montana, or what does it show? Will it show local? It won't.
I don't know.
Anybody have
anybody has
experience with that?
Your Google Voice number will come up as the area code that your area code is. So when I call somebody, it says Lakeland, Florida. I know that for a fact because they told me that. So if you're going to get another phone number, you might as well get a local one, and you should keep some separation because it's your business, and go on Google Voice and see what number you can get that's as close to your area as possible, and use that. But it will say, if you go on Google Voice and you get another area code, it will say that area that the area code's from.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, welcome, Maria. We're glad to have you.
Thanks. I'm glad to be on this team. Very excited to start this career. A little bit of background. I'm a nurse for 15 years, so I'm a real people person. And yay, yay, nurses. And as you can imagine, last year was hell, and I got punished, actually terminated, fired for going above and beyond and helping people. So that's what pushed me into real estate, because I want to be rewarded. Sorry, I'm going to get emotional. I want to get rewarded for going out of my way for people instead of punished. And that's why I'm here. And that's why they got rid of me November 13th, and I got my license January 25th. So I'm very happy to be here, very excited. I've run a nonprofit organization before. I know what it takes, and just happy to be on this team, and appreciate you guys' support.
Very cool,
Fantastic.
Maria. Welcome to us. Welcome to FRI.
Fantastic. So any other questions or comments on today's material?
Welcome, Maria.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, sorry, I have one. Welcome, Maria. You seem like very dedicated. I have a question about, since she was talking about phones and people calling, how late is everybody working until, and what is like your, I guess like as real estate agents, we are our own business owners. So is there a cutoff time that you guys kind of allow to work with buyers, or are you always on the phone late at night? Because I find that buyers are still throwing addresses and inquiries of properties late at night. And I'm just wondering, what is a balance of to take it, not to take it, to write the offer, wait until the next morning? Like the one that I was working through last night, I found out later on that they're not even going to look at the offers until Valentine's Day. So I set that one aside, but I was just wondering, when do you guys stop answering your phones, and when do you allow it to, or you don't?
When I go to bed, I don't answer my phone.
Okay. Just curious.
I think when you're new, you really got to take every call you can, right? It's the experience that you want, and you want to be able to provide your service, and you want to be able to learn and grow and get clients. So
yeah.
I know I used to answer my phone no matter what day or time it was. If I heard it ringing, I would answer it. Now that I'm a little bit busier, I'm able to kind of have a little bit more guidelines, but my parents come from an industry where my dad's in emergency services. So I grew up hearing him answer the phone in the middle of the night and running out to remove water from buildings in the middle of the night. So I grew up that way. So it's in my genes to be wide alert when somebody calls me at any time. That's my personal opinion. And then once you get super busy, then you're going to have to set some guidelines because you need to take care of a lot more things than just business in your life.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, this is the same as when people ask about how much money should we spend on marketing and stuff. If you're too busy and you've already got too much business, then you don't have to answer your phone all the time and you don't have to spend a lot of money on marketing. But otherwise, you should be answering every phone call you get and you should be spending every penny you can on marketing. Okay? Until you're so busy that you can't handle it anymore. Then, like Angie said, then we can start talking about, you can call me, I'll give you some ideas about how to set expectations with your clients, but that's for people who are too busy. So if you're still hungry and you're still growing your business, answer every phone call, spend every penny you can on marketing, keep growing.
And I tell myself not to answer after like 7 p.m. I answered a Sunday at 9:30 today, or 9:30 this past week. It was a client that I knew that I've been working with the past forever, 2 months or so. He called me at 9:30. I saw his name and sure enough, I answered, but he'll buy. So, and I've been in the business 21 years. Like I said, I tell myself not to answer after 7, but I still do. It's not really work to me though. It's my clients. I'm taking care of them. I'm still having fun. They want to discuss things. So it is what it is.
Daryl's having fun because he's having success. And this job is the best job in the world if you're good at it. And like I said, it's the toughest job in the world if you're not. So, but if Daryl were hungrier and newer, he would be taking every call all the time, and he probably takes most of them because, like he said, there's so much reward in it that you go ahead and do it. Any other questions?
Ryan, I do actually. Sorry, I had to step out for another meeting, but maybe, I don't know if anybody else, as I have to step out of this Zoom call. I asked a couple of agents before everybody else joined, but I'm not sure if anybody else joined after I asked the question. But I have a possible customer, possible client that is thinking of selling, and their home has solar panels that are not paid off. I already did some research on it, and I contacted a title company, and they told me that if they owe the solar panels, that debt would have to be satisfied at closing. Okay, so I get that. But in terms of, how much evaluation would that add to the property? They paid about $30,000 for the solar panels. This is the home in the St. Cloud area, very nice, 2,800 square feet, very nice home, 2 years old. They spend that, but now they want to buy a piece of land and build. And they're thinking they want to do that, but they are in the process of finding out how much their house is worth and how much they will get back. And I'm not really sure about, how much of a value solar panels bring in terms of pricing. If you or anybody else have experience or can refer me, how to search that information, I'll appreciate it.
Okay, how much is the house worth? How much do they think it's worth, roughly? Without
I looked on the MLS, and there's a home there pretty much almost very similar to them. One is listed for 400, and another one that sold 5 last week without the solar panels, without any upgrades, without any fences, without any outdoor kitchen or pavers or anything that they have done in their patio. And it sold for $375. So, they do have upgrades in the house, like that gorgeous outdoor kitchen with pavers in each side of the house, in their backyard with their pergola, fire pit. They put a white vinyl fence all over the house, and they put the solar panels. So, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I was thinking they could probably list that home between 410 and 415. I
What
don't,
kind of, what size KW system is it? 5 kW, 7 kW, 13 kW? Do you know?
no,
Okay. So it's solar is like 250 per kW on a unit. I only know that because my family owns one of the largest solar companies in America.
oh,
And it like what they paid for it might have been $30,000, but it's sales just like anything else. So the manufacturer is only charging like 250 tops per kW. So whoever sold them the system could have charged them $4.50 or $5 a kW, and they may have overpaid for the system. So it's not going to value for $30,000 when you
right,
sell the house,
right.
And then it's going to come down to how much is their electric bill, how much of their electric bill gets covered, is there net metering, are they getting money back from the utility company? Those are all questions you're going to need to know to understand how valuable the system is, because if the system doesn't even pay their electric bill, then is it really that valuable? Now, obviously they own it, so it isn't leased, which is a huge bonus, but I would say, I mean, definitely an appraiser question, but it's probably not even gonna add 15,000 in value to the house. Yeah, you said a $300,000 house, right?
Yeah, it's over 300,000.
So I'm guessing it's probably like a 5 kW system or 7 kW system, which is really small.
Okay.
So Yesenia just posted, there's a report on CNBC that solar homes in Central Florida sell for 4.6% more and 20% faster. I'm not familiar with any of that, but 4.6% more is not going to cover. That's not your 30 grand. The average house in Central Florida is 220,000 or something like that. So that's not going to be your 30 grand. I was thinking 10 grand that it would add to an appraisal. Appraiser is going to give it something. Do people want it more? If it covers their whole electric bill, it makes it worth more, I think. And I could see why it would sell faster. I'd rather 2 identical homes, one with the solar and one without, for the same price. I'd rather have the one with solar. Yeah. So it may be worth an extra 10 or 15,000 to a buyer. It may be worth an extra 5,000 to a buyer. Whatever it's worth. What they paid for it, again, just like anything else, is irrelevant to what it's worth now.
Right.
I wouldn't trust. Sorry, I wouldn't trust the articles that you see online, because that's what my family does on the front page of their website. You get solar panels, and you're gonna get 7% on top of your house, or and it's gonna sell a lot quicker. So those are all made up figures they're using for sales tactics, just like we do in our business. So definitely an appraiser question, probably.
An important thing to consider, though, also when pricing the house, you're going to want to find out how much your sellers owe on it. So they need to get the payoff amount.
Yes.
Because that's going to be really important to know what their net's going to be, to where you're see if they could even, sell, and what their next moves are going to be. If they have a $30,000 balance and it has to be paid at closing, I mean, that's a big deal. So finding out those numbers before you price the house is super important to see if it's going to work for what they need.
Yes, I have those numbers down. I just don't know, how much of a value would that be in terms of the solar panels. But I already called the Lake County property appraiser, just to see if, if anybody could give me at least some, and just to hear an appraiser's opinion on it. And the lady took my email and she said that they were going to email me back, that they haven't answered yet. So I'm doing the best that I can to do as much as research as possible. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Malvis.
What's the name of the appraiser that comes out with the big long list? Sorry to interrupt. What's the appraiser's name that comes out with the green list? Kelly. It's an appraiser that sends out a list every year. It's a big green list, and it lists the
Kelly Kellogg.
Sorry?
I think it's Kelly Kellogg.
There you go. Try to get her list, because she lists all the improvements on a house for the appraisal, and it gives you a price of everything involving in a house.
What's her name?
Kelly Kellogg. Kelly, Kellogg, like the cereal, I think.
I think so.
So she sends out a green list. It's a big, long green list, and it lists all the upgrades on a house and what the appraiser values those upgrades to be.
And where does she post that out? Where she sends it? Who he sends?
I would just Google her and you'll find her, I'm sure. She's big here in
Kellogg's,
Central.
just like the cereal, Kelly Kellogg's?
I believe so, yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. We are on a commercial break and we'll be back momentarily.
Okay. Thank you for the information, Joy.
You're welcome.
This commercial is brought to you by Downtown Daryl Hunt.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys, I muted myself. I apologize. I want to leave you guys with a thought. Whatever you're doing, whether you're doing $1 million and you want to do 5 million, or you're doing 5 million to 10 to 15, whatever it is that you want to do, you've got to do something different. You've got to do more. You have to make the phone calls. You have to spend the money. You have to get out there and do stuff. I get frustrated for you guys when I hear some of you who contact me and you have, you're struggling with this or you're struggling with that. Get out there and do it. And if you can't afford to spend the money, get with somebody who can, or get out of the business, because you have to spend money. You're just going to frustrate yourself if you keep doing what you're doing. It's a definition of insanity, right? We keep doing what we're doing and we expect a different result. Get out there and do more, add more revenue streams to what you're doing, find another way to make more money, whether it's working with people, whether it's doing Facebook ads. It can be cheap, guys. It could be Facebook ads. It can be any of these programs we talked about, whether it be the realtor.com. Daryl's spending $400 a month on realtor.com. You can afford it. If you can afford other stuff, you can afford that. Don't make me do the math on what your $7 cup of coffee from Starbucks is every month, right? Get out there and spend the money, put in the effort, and do it. You've got to, or you'll just starve and you'll be sitting there at your birthday all sad that another year's gone by and you haven't done what you wanted to do and you haven't met your goals. And now's a good time, since it's my birthday, now's a good time for you to go over your goals and see, you know what, I had this goal for 2021. We're already almost 10% of the way through it. Well, actually more than 10%. Where am I? What have I done?
One thing I started, Ryan, one thing that I started doing differently, because I wasn't doing anything. I was not doing anything at all. But I opened a Facebook page, and I get ads, or I get content. I'm paying a company to put in content into that. I'm only paying $50 a month. I wasn't doing anything. I know $50 is little. I know that, but I started at least doing something, because I wasn't doing anything. So I'm seeing activity on my Facebook page where people are sharing my post, and people are actually, being more conscious about that I'm a realtor. So I'm
okay. I'm going to go into a rabbit hole. I'm going to go to a rabbit hole here with you, Malmus. How much content are you getting for that $50? What are they doing?
Every day I get a new post and a video on weekly. Every day.
Okay, fantastic. So what are you doing with that? You just leaving it on that page? Or are you sharing it to your personal page? What are you doing?
No, I'm sharing it with my personal page.
Every day, every other day?
Every other day or so. And I'm telling and I've seen, and I ask my Facebook friends to share that page with their friends and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
So it's,
Fantastic.
I know it's nothing compared to what Daryl is doing or what Angie probably is doing or any other, more successful agents are doing, but at least I'm doing something. And it feels good.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, you need to, that's the minimum of what you need to do. You do need to get your name out there and your branding. And this is planting seeds in people's minds, people who know you, that think of you as, the nice lady Malvis, who now think of you as the nice lady Malvis, the realtor, right? It's that they think of you as, oh, that's my daughter's friend's mom. And now they think of you as my daughter's friend's mom, the realtor.
Yes.
Okay. You've got to
Yes.
plant in people's minds that you are a realtor, that you are an expert, you are a person they can trust. Not only do they like you because you're a lovely person, but they can trust you with the biggest decision they're going to make in their life that they've ever made in their life, which is their next house. Again, I don't care if it's their first $75,000 house or if it's $250 or $350 or $500 or it's their last house that they're going to downsize to. It's the most important decision they've made. Okay. And they've got to know you, like you, and trust you, not just trust you with their money because you're not holding their money. They trust you. They trust your judgment. They trust you as an expert who's going to guide them through the process and get them the best deal. Okay. So think about it that way. Get your brand out there and do that. I love that, Malvis. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that was a goal of Malvis to do this year, and she's doing it. This is day 41 of 2021, which means we're more than 10% of the way through the year. Are you 10% of the way to reaching your goals? Are you doing the things that we talked about? When we talked about backing your goals out, I want to sell X amount of houses a year. That means I have to make so many contacts, so many contracts, so many contacts, et cetera, so many phone calls, so many advertising dollars, so many whatever. Are you 10% of the way to meeting your goals? Because we're more than 10% of the way through the year.
But all I know is that this potential customer that I have, he has shared my content on Facebook. So it's a past client anyway. So he knows that I'm a realtor regardless.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Kathy wants to know what company you're using for that, Malvis.
I put it out there in the chat. It's called Keeping Current Matters. And I only been using it for 2 months or so. It's just, but.
Okay. Well, fantastic. That's great. And I apologize to everybody for some of the miscommunication, the communication issues in the chat. All of you guys are frozen on my screen. I can't see you. I can see you, but you're just frozen. So I can't tell your facial expressions or who's talking. I can't see you. And it's a difficult way to lead it's like I'm speaking to a room of empty chairs. So it's a difficult way to do a presentation. All right, everybody. Any other questions or comments before we go?
Ryan, I want to backtrack on something real quick. Sorry, I'm out shooting photos on listings. But somebody asked a question earlier that said, what's the best lead source? And some other agents and stuff will call me and not necessarily in our group, but they'll ask what's working and stuff like that. It's really frustrating because I mentioned it when I was driving earlier. The leads that you get are only as good as how hard you work. And I think a lot of people are looking for that magic pill of which website or which lead source is going to give me these multi-million-dollar leads or these 42 closings per year. None of them are going to give you that. You're going to have to earn that yourself. And it's not necessarily, a lot of people will jump around and buy realtor leads or Zillow leads, which both of those work. They do work. Had them in the past. They both work. But then you'll go buy other leads that are doing Google pay-per-click or whatever it is, but you don't have the correct funnels in place to actually capitalize on those. You're not sending them to a website where they're looking at properties. You're not setting them into follow-up or drip campaigns. You have to have all those things in place for all those to work out. And you have to pick up the phone and call them when they come in. So when people ask, what's the best lead source? Well, most lead sources are good, especially the name brand ones. It just comes down to, are you going to pick up the phone and call them? And are you actually going to work that lead? And that's how good those leads are going to be.
Dalton, do you mind sharing a good company for them to talk to? Because a lot of people are going to be overwhelmed by having to set up the drip campaigns and all this stuff. What is he talking about? How do I do this? Who's a good company for them to talk to guide them?
Yeah, And honestly, I'm not a good, and this is why I tell the other agents to ask me that question. I'm not your best resource for that because I went to Real Geeks. That's who I use for my website host. Now, when I went to Real Geeks, I pay them $3,000 a year or something like that. I don't know. I paid it up front, so it's a discount. I think it's like $300 a month, or I don't know. But I went to them, so they designed me a website. But I had to sit there. I spent a week putting things into my website as far as SEO. I did some of that stuff myself. I built out my pages, right? And then I pay a marketing team $1,500 a month. I give them a Google limit or whatever, and then they drive traffic through landing pages to my website. So I have a system set up, which is why I'm not the best person to talk to unless you're wanting to spend that kind of money. Now, so I don't know what company to go to outside of those two. Bold Leads, I think, does leads for you, but you have to have a website for them to drive traffic to. So it comes down to having a good website that you can drive traffic to that converts leads. Other than that, you're going to want to go to your realtor.com or your Zillows and get leads from there. Preferably not Zillow because they're trying to put us out of business, but those are going to be the websites that are just going to send you hard leads. Just, hey, here's Johnny. He wants to buy a house at 123 Main Street. Other than that, if you're driving traffic through Facebook, I think Daryl does that. I think Daryl has a website though that helps capture some of that. And but I don't really know, to be honest. It's unless you're wanting to spend a lot of money and put together all the funnels and everything in place, then I don't know where to send you, because I think all the other ones are going to be bogus and they're just taking your money, but they're still going to send you leads. They just may not have as high of a conversion rate, and they're going to have a 0% conversion rate if you don't pick up the phone and call them.
And that is a fact. Thank you very much for that. It doesn't matter what leads somebody can hand deliver you perfect leads, and you're not going to close them if you don't call them. A lot of you guys are afraid to pick up the phone though. You can't be shy. Timid salespeople have skinny kids, and we're all going to starve if you're going to be timid in this business. So get out there and do what you have to do. I'm turning this into a little bit of a motivational thing, because you got to get out there and do it, or you're just going to completely get completely crushed in this business if you don't get out there and actually do the things that you're supposed to do. If you sit around paralyzed, you're just going to get passed by, and the bills are going to keep coming in every month. I promise you. You've got to get out there and do stuff. All right. Some of you asked about the team in Kissimmee. Just send me an email about that, please, and I'll put you in touch with the. There's a gentleman running that team. Put me in touch. Send me an email and I'll put you in touch. Go through the chat here. Rhonda's got some good help for you on there. She's paying $49 a month for a website. All right, guys. If you have any other questions or comments, please give me a call or email, and I'll be happy to talk to you individually. Otherwise, you guys have a great day.
Ryan,
great to have you guys.
I just had a big church. My church group just came in. Can they say something?
Sure.
Thank you.
Daryl, is that what you've been working on for the last 15 minutes?
I know exactly. I found it before this. I was doing good.
All right. Well, tell them I'll see them Sunday.
Happy birthday, Troy.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Take care,
everyone.
Enjoy your day.
Yes.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Felicidades.
Gracias.